Hi guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we are back live with the Fulham versus Manchester United preview. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Manchester United content just like this, and make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified every time we go live. And also make sure, if you are watching this as a video, leave your comments and predictions for this game in the comment section down below. I'm really eager to hear what you guys have to say. But we're going to go straight into the preview straight away. Just want to say welcome to the guys who've already joined. Welcome Asian Gamer and welcome Football Fan 148. Thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate it. And welcome Dazza. Thanks for joining as well. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about obviously is the Fulham preview. Now, Fulham, I'm going to talk about the Fulham side. Let's start with the Fulham side, shall we? I always like to start with the opposition just so we can get that. Just so we can get that out of the way, you know what I mean? We can get the opposition out of the way, and then for the rest of it, we can talk about Manchester United. What we're all here to talk about. You're only here for United, as the chant goes. So Fulham, currently sitting 19th in the table. It's no secret they've been having a poor season this season. Coming to this one off the back of only one win in their last 6 matches, and that win came in a 4-2 win against Brighton. They went 2-0 down at half-time and they fought very well to come back and win the game 4-2. And unfortunately for them, they haven't been having the best of seasons. Obviously, their former manager got sacked. Claudio Ranieri, currently the manager of Fulham. And he was someone who got the best out of a relegation struggling team. We saw that with Leicester. But it just hasn't been working out for him so far. Still not getting the positive results. And that is why I'm very, very confident going into this game. But I think Fulham definitely have a lot of threats that we're going to have to look out for. One person I want to highlight in particular is Alexander Mitrovic. Now, he is obviously Fulham's top scorer, bought from Newcastle, and I think he's been a brilliant signing for Fulham. You know, someone who's very, very good in the air, very, very good at kind of hanging off the back of the last defender, making those runs from crosses, which, let's be honest, we are very, very poor this season at defending set pieces. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the likes of Lindelof and Bailly deal with Alexander Mitrovic, and he's going to be the main threat, really. I think, they are going to look to, whip balls into the box. They're going to be looking to do that all the time, and we have been pretty poor defending crosses, so that's the one aspect that I'm not very confident about. I'm a bit worried about if they continue, if we allow them on the wings to get crosses into the box, if we don't press their fullbacks enough, and stop the crosses coming in, then it could be very, very difficult for us. But for me, I don't see Fulham being able to open us up in terms of, cutting us open with brilliant attacking moves. I feel it is going to be crosses if they are going to score. I think their physical presence up front with Mitrovic in particular is going to be something which we're going to have to struggle with, and we're just going to have to deal with in the end, because when you go away from home against a smaller sides, it does seem like they like to play on the counter-attack, and smaller sides do use set pieces. We saw that against Leicester. Basically every single chance they had to put it into the box, they did, and they nearly scored on a couple of occasions. So again, we need to make sure we're tight at the back, especially from defending set pieces. But that is my only worry really for this game. I think Fulham defensively do look pretty poor. We saw against Spurs, I highlight that game. Fulham very, very close to getting a point out of that one, but in the last moment, just that lapse of concentration meant that Harry Winks could get in there and score the goal. And I think even though Fulham pose a bit of a threat going forward, I still think that their defensive instability will just not hold up for them. And the way that our forward line is playing at the moment, I can see us getting a few goals tomorrow. But you never know. I'm not going to write Fulham off because, a relegation struggling team, they always seem to turn up against the big boys. Welcome to Yash, Man United fan Stan, and Lennox. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Please do leave a like if you haven't already. And also make sure you check out all the channels as well in the description down below. Some really, really good Manchester United content on there, so make sure you check them out. Lennox says, thoughts on Ole and Rashford winning the man of the match and manager of the month and player of the month. Well, I'm very, very happy that happened. Obviously, a bit of a double for Manchester United, and that is obviously the first thing I want to talk about before we get into the kind of tactics and team selection of this preview. Brilliant achievement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the first Manchester United manager to win Manager of the Month since Sir Alex Ferguson, so brilliant for him, especially as he's an interim manager. Once again, you know, I say this so many times, if you would have told me that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in his first full month in charge, was going to win Manager of the Month, I would have thought you were absolutely chatting shit. But he's banged it out of the park, and you've got to say, you know, he's done a brilliant job, and that is why so many people are calling for him to be the permanent manager. So it was so good to see him holding that award, especially with his coaching staff, because I don't think Solskjaer would have been able to do it on his own, especially without the guidance of Mike Phelan, who's been there and done it, and obviously was there when Sir Alex Ferguson won the Manager of the Month as well. So he's been there, and I think Phelan is definitely giving him a lot of guidance. So I'm really happy to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get the Manager of the Month, and I think it was well deserved. I think if it went to any other manager, I think it just wouldn't have been right. So I'm happy that it went to the right man. And Marcus Rashford, really happy that he got his first Player of the Month award. So happy for him. You know, had a brilliant month in January. You know, probably scoring, 5 goals in January. Brilliant form, and hopefully he can continue this form into the Fulham game, and I'm sure he will. But he's just been a lethal striker for us in January. Scored some really vital goals against Leicester. Very, very vital early goal that he scored. You know, against Newcastle as well, scoring the ending goal. He's just been a brilliant player for us this January, and very much one of the main contributors in a brilliant run we've been on recently. So hopefully he continues to work hard, and it looks like, you know, he's getting the rewards. His work rate is paying off, and hopefully it continues to do so. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Yas says it was nice to see our manager, a Niner manager win. Yeah, exactly, our number 9 manager winning. Totally agree, mate, totally agree. It was so nice to see them both holding the awards, and as I said, the hard work is being paid off, and it's obviously being recognised by others around the Premier League, which is great. Lennox says Fulham have one of the worst defences, conceded 55 goals. Exactly, I mean, I highlighted it just before. You know, Fulham defensively, they're not solid whatsoever, and usually, you know, with these kind of relegation sides, at least, you know, they can be a bit compact in defence and very hard to break down. But Fulham are just not that at all. As I said, 55 goals this season. And that is why they are where they are, 19th in the table, fighting for their lives. You never know, though. You know, I think a lot of teams do, you know, up their game against the big sides. So I could definitely see that happening. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Fulham defence turned into, you know, prime AC Milan defence or prime Italian defence. And, you know, you never know what's going to happen, especially at Craven Cottage. The players, you know, might be kind of rolled up by the home crowd, wanting to do everything in their power to get at least a point off us. And as I said in the title, this is a very, very important 3 points for us to get. Obviously, Chelsea are playing Man City, so a massive opportunity for them to drop points and us to go into 4th place. And if we do win this game, we will move up into 4th place, you know, before Chelsea play, which is obviously very much a huge psychological boost ahead of that game, and just puts a bit of pressure on Chelsea as well. So it's all good, but we need to get the 3 points, and I think if we don't beat Fulham away from home, especially, you know, the way they're playing at the moment, and you know, how they're struggling in the league, then I don't think we really deserve to get top 4. Let's be honest. I mean, we've got the team to do it, and I think, moving on from that, of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about making a few changes in his press conference. You know, making a few changes, and I think even if we were to make a few changes, I think we still would have the team capable on paper of beating Fulham. And even though, you know, Fulham up front have a decent little, obviously have Mitrovic. I think he's pretty much their main focal point up front. If he's not firing, then I don't think Fulham are going to do well at all. So once again, I think Fulham have got a bit of a threat, not too much of a threat, but defensively, with our pace in behind, and with the clinical nature of our finishing as it's been as of late, we should get the 3 points in this game. But, you know, the Premier League, it surprises you all the time. But hopefully it doesn't give us a negative surprise. Rashford says, hi everyone in the stream. Finally weekend. What a game tomorrow. 3 points, top 4. Yes, Rashford. Welcome to the stream, mate. Love the positivity. Welcome to Jack. Welcome, Jack. Thanks for joining. He says, big game. Players like Lukaku, Sanchez need to step up if they want to stake a claim and get into the starting 11. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I was saying, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has hinted at making a few changes for this game, and I think Sanchez and Lukaku probably will be looking at getting into that starting 11, and I totally agree with you, Jack. They need to step up. We saw that they did step up in the Arsenal game a few weeks ago, and we need that sort of performance from them every single week. It's not good enough just giving that sort of performance one game in every 3 or 4. We need to see it consistently every single week, and if we don't see that, then I don't see why they should be kept in the squad. Yes, obviously they're quality players in their own right, but is there any point in paying Sanchez 500 grand a week to sit on the bench? I'm not sure there is. I'm not sure there is really. So, you know, I think Sanchez, unless he can kind of, you know, start to produce on a consistent basis, really good performances, kind of 7, 8, 9 out of 10 performances, then I think he'll probably be moved on. Same with Lukaku. The way that Marcus Rashford is firing at the moment, I'm not sure if Rashford is going to be dropped for the game. But Lukaku's got a lot to do if he wants to get back into that striker role. And, you know, whilst he had a decent season for us last season, scoring 27 goals in all competitions, Rashford's form at the moment is unprecedented. And, you know, he won Player of the Month as well. So you've got to give it to him. And Lukaku, as I said, has got a lot of work to do if he is going to get back into that striker role, that number 9 role that we've all known him for. But we'll see what happens. I think, as I said, Solskjaer has hinted at making a few changes for this game, so I would not be surprised if Sanchez and Lukaku both start tomorrow. And if they did start, what would be your thoughts on that, guys? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat and, of course, in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys would think if Sanchez and Lukaku both started for Manchester United tomorrow. Do you think it'd be the right move, or do you think we should keep our strongest starting 11, our strongest front 3, which for me would be Martial, Rashford and Lingard? The pace, the agility, the clinical nature of those front 3, and the balance it provides as well, just second to none. So for me, I would love to see us play that, but I don't think it's going to happen if you take in regards to the comments that Solskjaer has made in this press conference. But we'll see. Welcome Billy T. Thanks for joining, Billy. Really appreciate it as always. Please do leave a like if you haven't already. A like really goes a long way. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. Man United fans, I think 3-0 to Manchester United. Again, I would take that a clean sheet, which, let's be honest, this season, clean sheets have not been easy to come by for Manchester United. So to get a clean sheet away from home is always good. Rashford says, from our last 10 matches, Solskjaer was just selecting a strong 11, and Lukaku, Sanchez and others failed to pass. Well, I mean, exactly, I think Lukaku and Sanchez, I mean, we saw them against Arsenal, and they were brilliant in that game. But unfortunately, when we saw Lukaku come on against Leicester and other games as well, he didn't have the same impact. Same with Sanchez. Sanchez started against Leicester, and I didn't think he had a great impact, really, in the game. He didn't really get into the game, and when he came off the pitch, he himself knew that he didn't have the best of games. He looked visibly frustrated, so I mean, I think, you know, Sanchez is very difficult for him. You know, he spends a lot of time on the subs bench, so maybe that's going to have a bit of a role to play. But I think if you're paying someone 500 grand a week, you'd expect a lot better performances than what he's getting. And I think just consistency, really, for him. I think, you know, when Sanchez, we know that Sanchez is a quality player. Only a season ago, or a few seasons ago, he was like scoring left, right and centre, producing brilliant performances for Arsenal on a weekly basis. I'm not sure whether it's the system, but now the system under Solskjaer is a very much more attacking, free-flowing style, so it should suit him a lot more. But in that Leicester game, it didn't seem to work for him. He just didn't seem to get into the game as much as he should have done. So we'll see what happens with Sanchez. I do have a feeling that he will be starting against Fulham. So let's see how he gets on. Jag says thoughts on Jones' new contract. Of course, another bit of Manchester United news today is that Phil Jones signed a new deal, and to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of people on social media, Twitter, Instagram, getting very frustrated about this, but I don't see what's that much to get frustrated about. Yes, I think a lot of people, including myself, would say that Phil Jones should be nowhere near a Manchester United defence. But the reality is Solskjaer wants to keep him, and I think Solskjaer, if you look at the comments he made about Phil Jones, saying that he's been there and done it, he's won Premier League titles, it's very clear that Solskjaer trusts Phil Jones. And the fact that he does trust Phil Jones, we know that he's going to get a new contract, and he's got the new contract now. He's not going to be going anywhere. I mean, who would want to buy him? But I think it's a bit harsh. But look, I mean, I think as a squad player, he's not that bad. I think if Jones becomes our starting centre-back, I think I would start to get worried. And that is why a lot of people are saying we need to invest in that area. People point to Koulibaly, Manolas, Skriniar, Alderweireld, Maguire as well. And I think, you know, Jones signing a new contract, I don't think it's as catastrophic as a lot of people are making out, but there you go. Billy says he's predicting a 3-1 win, Rashford with a brace, and Martial. Well, you'll see my prediction is very, very similar to that as well when we get into that prediction. But yeah, I do agree with you, Billy. I think, you know, Rashford will continue his scoring form. Player of the month, of course, which is so, so good for Marcus Rashford. His hard work seems to be paying off. And I think what I've noticed with Rashford, and he's much less hesitant when he's in the box about to finish. You know, we saw against Leicester, there was no hesitation on the finish. One touch, bang, into the far left corner. That is how clinical you need to be if you're if you want to be a Manchester United striker. You know, Andy Cole, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Wayne Rooney, these guys in their prime were so clinical in front of goal. There was no second guessing. It was getting the ball in front of goal, into the bottom corner. It was almost instinctive. Almost instinctive finishing. And I think Rashford is starting to show that, which is a great sign in his development, and hopefully he can only go up from here. And I'd love to see Marcus Rashford continue his career at Manchester United and still be here when he's, you know, 39, 40 years old, still being our number 9. That'd be a fairy tale for Marcus Rashford. So hopefully he continues progressing in his career. He is looking a brilliant player, and of course, getting the Player of the Month at only 21 years old in the Premier League, very, very good achievement for him, and his hard work is paying off. Jackson, I'm looking like the GOAT is going to get a contract extension. Yeah, of course, a lot of rumours surrounding Ashley Young potentially getting a contract extension at Manchester United. And again, as I said, a lot of people will be saying that Ashley Young's a bit of deadwood, you know, not good enough for Manchester United, we should be getting rid of him. It's probably only be a 1-year contract extension. Let's face it, it's not going to be a 4 or 5-year contract extension. So I'll just say don't get your knickers in a twist about it. Even if he does stay, I think actually he has been a decent utility player for us. He's come on and put in some decent performances, especially regarding his age. So I don't think we should get on Ashley Young's back too much. Rashford says, I want Lukaku, Sanchez, Pereira and other deadwoods to know they are losing a lot of this club. Well, I think definitely, I think you're definitely in the majority, Rashford Jawara. I think you're definitely in the majority of fans who are seeing the likes of Lukaku, Sanchez, Pereira, of course. I mean, probably not Pereira, actually. I think he's still a young player who's got a lot to develop. I'm not sure whether Pereira's United standard at the moment. Maybe another loan move might suit him. I think we might have overestimated what Pereira could do, but maybe a change of position. I thought, just a side note on Pereira, I thought actually when he plays in a midfield as a central midfielder, I think he's wasted in that position. He's much better on the wing when he can go and express himself, use his pace and skill, and I'm sure he's got good technical ability in terms of crossing the ball as well. So I think Pereira on the wing would be much more suited to his ability. I don't think he's a central midfielder whatsoever. So I think that's why we're not seeing too much from Pereira at the moment. And, of course, you mentioned and said Lukaku, Sanchez, probably mentioned Phil Jones as well, Chris Smalling, Ashley Young, other players like this who a lot of fans see as deadwood. And I think a lot of fans want to get rid of that, and we might see a mass exodus in the summer, who knows. But I think to be honest, in the summer, a lot of the transfer action will be outgoings, and there won't be that many incomings. I think a lot of United fans are getting their hopes up about, you know, signing £100 million centre backs and things like that. I think realistically, I don't think that's going to happen, and I think there will be a lot of people disappointed with how the summer transfer window goes. I could be wrong. But I just feel like we're not going to spend loads and loads of money in the summer. You guys might think that we do need to spend lots of money in the summer to compete with the likes of Liverpool and Man City, who are increasingly spending lots and lots of money, you know, bringing in the best of the best from around Europe. And, you know, it seems to be working for them, but Pep Guardiola says we're still in a title race, so I wouldn't get our heads down just yet. But I think, guys, it's the right time to give my predicted 11 for the Manchester United game. Obviously, the Fulham versus Manchester United game. Please do let me know your predicted 11s in the live chat and the comment section down below. But I'm going to go with my predicted 11. Now, I'm going to go with David De Gea in goal. Same formation of 4-3-3. Going to put Ashley Young on the right. I'm not sure if Lindelof's playing. I've heard rumours that Solskjaer is going to drop Victor Lindelof for this game because he's looking to rest players for the upcoming PSG game on Tuesday. So I think Lindelof probably won't play. I think we will see Bailly and Jones at the back, and then we'll see Luke Shaw at left back. 3 in midfield probably going to stay the same. Herrera, Pogba and Matic. And then the 3 up front for me, I think Sanchez is going to start on the left. I think Lingard's going to play on the right. And I think the fact that he hinted at potential changes, for me, suggests that Romelu Lukaku is going to start up front for Manchester United. So a few changes in there, about 3 or 4 changes from the starting 11 we saw against Leicester. Please do let me know of what you think of my predicted lineup in the live chat as well. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, I think the fact that he did hint at a lot of changes in his press conference, notes and things like that, I think we'll see Lukaku and Sanchez starting. Whether you guys think that's the right decision or not, for me, I don't know. I think Fulham, I think you can take the risk. I mean, away from home, you could argue is a bit of a sticky match. Fulham do make it very, very difficult for away sides travelling there. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. I'm not writing off Fulham whatsoever. But I think he'll probably look to play Sanchez and Lukaku. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts on that. Rashford said, you never really understand a person until you consider their point of view. Young and Jones are important. I think it's a very good point, Rashford. I think it's a very, very good point. Young and Jones have been kind of important for squad rotation. And yes, obviously, they're definitely players who I don't want to see in the starting 11 for Manchester United. I think actually, in terms of, kind of squad rotation, they can't be that bad. They can't really be that bad. But, I mean, obviously starting for Manchester United week in, week out, that's a different story. Asian Gamer says, can I add you on Snapchat? I don't actually have Snapchat, so I do apologise for that, Asian Gamer. So I would let you add me on Snapchat if I had it. So, yeah. Rashford said Lindelof hasn't travelled with Fred and Pereira, they don't travel. So, yeah, Lindelof doesn't look like he's playing, so I think it will be Jones and Bailly playing as a centre-back pairing. Jack goes with De Gea, Dalot, Bailly, Jones, Shaw, Matic and Herrera, Mata, Martial, Lukaku and Sanchez. So, a decent one, and a few names in there which I did forget. Actually, Dalot, and I think Diego Dalot could be a very, very good shout, Jack, because actually Solskjaer, if he is looking at making changes, might want to see Ashley Young drop to the bench. It looks like Solskjaer trusts Ashley Young a lot more than someone like Diogo Dalot. So I think, yeah, potentially Dalot playing and starting against Fulham, definitely something that, that actually I might consider. You've also put in there Mata as well. I think Mata as well. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I think Mata is definitely another person who a lot of United fans are liking to Deadwood as well. And I think he is being wasted on the wing. And I think you're right. He could be played tomorrow. And I think if he is played tomorrow, I think we're not going to have the same attacking kind of fluid impetus that we usually have. But he's still a very, very skillful player and someone who can create things. So you got to back your players. You got to back your players. Asian Gamer, I feel like you have a personal one because you said you did. No, I don't. Unfortunately, Asian Gamer, I don't. I mean, I'm not sure where you got that from, but I definitely don't. I'm sorry if I did say it in the past, but I don't. Rashford says Dalot is playing against Fulham in the first leg, so he can play. I think. Oh yeah, fair enough. Jack says, I feel like Mata will play in Pogba's role. Actually, I mean, if Mata plays in Pogba's role, I think that'll definitely suit him a lot more. He also says not the same player, but will occupy the same spaces. I think that's definitely a point. Billy T says, giving Jones a new 4-year contract shows that the Glazers and Ed Woodward aren't prepared to invest in bringing in world-class players. I think, if Phil Jones gets given a 4-year contract, I think that is a bit excessive. And I think you definitely are in the majority, Billy. Definitely in the majority. Because ultimately, we do need to invest in the centre-back position, and I think Phil Jones is definitely not up to scratch. He has done he's done a good service for United. You know what I mean? He hasn't been too poor. He hasn't been too amazing. He's done a service for United, but I think now is the time to bring in somebody else who will guarantee you good results and consistent performances at centre-back, because Phil Jones has had some brilliant games for Manchester United at the back, but he's just so prone to mistakes that it's almost laughable at this stage. It's almost laughable. So I think the quicker we can get Phil Jones out of that centre-back partnership, and the quicker we can see Lindelof and Bailly starting together on a more regular basis, the more positive it's going to be in terms of the results and defensive stability. Rashford says the solution for Mata is less tour with the referee when we get free kicks and subs. Him in, and let's subs him out. Yeah. Potentially, mate, potentially. Billy T says 4 years on the treatment table. Yeah, exactly. Again, that's a good point. I didn't actually think about the fact he is very, very injury-prone, Phil Jones, as well. But yeah, as I said, I think Phil Jones' 4-year contract, does he really deserve it? I don't know. But one thing it does show is Ole's trust in Phil Jones. And as long as he's got that trust, I think we are going to see Phil Jones starting for Manchester United more often than not. But it's definitely going to be a very interesting battle between Bailly and Jones to see who starts against with Victor Lindelof, who was also another candidate for Player of the Month. And I think actually he has improved so much. Probably my player of the season so far, Victor Lindelof. So hopefully he continues his good form at the back. And we just need to see Eric Bailly next to him winning those headers tomorrow, especially against the physical presence of Mitrovic. But yeah, please leave your thoughts, guys. Any questions, anything like that in the live chat. Really eager to hear what you guys have to say. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We're nearing 550 subscribers. So anything you guys can do to help us out with that, whether that's liking the video, sharing the video, and anything like that, that really does help us out. So please do if you can. And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. It really is going to be interesting to see. I think Fulham are not going to be walkovers. There's no chance they're going to be walkovers. I still think we are going to win the game, and I'm very confident going into the game. Don't get me wrong, but I think Fulham are not going to be pushovers. I think they're going to try their very hardest to be defensively resolute. And whilst I think we are going to break through that defence, and trust me, I don't think Fulham are strong defensively at all. I think it was either Asian Gamer, or I think it was Billy actually. Billy, you brought up the stat of Fulham conceding 55 goals in all competition this season, or in the Premier League this season. That's a disastrous record. A disastrous record. And with the way we're playing at the moment, especially attacking wise, I'm sure we can get the 3 points. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. Welcome, Roberto. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Make sure you check out Roberto's channel as well. Really, really good stuff. But thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Jack says, I wouldn't be totally shocked to see Tahith Chong start. Very interesting shout. A few of the youngsters, something which hadn't really crossed my mind, but actually is a decent shout. I'm not sure whether he travelled with the squad. Obviously, if you're saying if he could potentially start, does sound to me that he has travelled. And again, I think that'd be a very, very interesting player to start. And I think that would definitely get the fans excited for the game. I think Chong has had a few opportunities in the first team, and I think against Fulham, definitely will be a massive opportunity for him if he does play. Rashford says, Kieran, I don't see your brothers today. That's why the back there is getting a bit boring. Yeah, no, I do apologise. Big O, of course. Big O, of course. The chant, the resident atmosphere. You know, as you can see at Old Trafford, it's pretty empty at the moment. But yeah, I know he's not here at the moment. That's why it's a bit quiet at the back. But there you go. I mean, as I said, I was thinking about giving him his own little segment on the channel. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Lennox says, Danger Man Mitrovic, he has 10 goals. Agree, mate. Totally agree. Especially his aerial advantage, physical advantage, and from set pieces. We're going to have to be very, very wary tomorrow. Chong has travelled. Okay, Chong has travelled. So, yeah. Could be interesting to see if Chong potentially gets some minutes off the bench. For me, I don't think he's going to start the game. I think it will either be Sanchez or Martial. But it'll be interesting to see whether Chong does get some time off the bench. And I wish him well. I think he does have a Manchester United future ahead of him. And I hope he can be another successful graduate from the youth academy and just continue the heritage that Manchester United has shown for ages and ages. So yeah, let's hope he can get some minutes under his belt and be part of a very positive result for United. 3 points, remember, that would take us into the top 4 at least before Chelsea played. So good times, very, very good times, exciting times indeed. And of course, it'd be a very good personal achievement for Solskjaer as well. 10 wins out of 11 for his career if he were to win tomorrow. And I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because the result is definitely not decided already. But on paper, we shouldn't be struggling against this Fulham side. Realistically, we should not struggle, but you never know. Rashford said, I can't wait to see Sanchez back to Italy and swap him with Ivan Perisic. To be fair, Perisic, of course, linked heavily with Arsenal in the latter stages of the January transfer window. Perisic is someone who I probably would have liked to see come to Manchester United a few seasons ago, but now I don't think Perisic is good enough, to be honest, to come to Manchester United. I think he is definitely getting a bit older. I think, as I said, a few seasons ago, I would have absolutely loved to see Ivan Perisic in a Man United shirt. I think he would have had pace, brilliant crossing him as well, very, very similar to Delos's crossing technique, and just a brilliant player. But I think now he's starting to get on a bit, and I don't think we'll be able to get much out of him. So yeah, I think Ivan Perisic, right now, I probably wouldn't swap him for Sanchez, but I think a few seasons ago, I would have signed right up for that. Jack said, I definitely think young Pogba, Rashford and Lingard will be rested. I think you could be right. I'm not sure about the midfield, considering Fred and Pereira haven't travelled. So it'll be very interesting to see if he was to rest Pogba, who he would replace. Obviously, you think Mata could potentially play in the Pogba role, and I think that would definitely suit Mata a lot more if he was to play in that central midfield role. Obviously, when you're in that role, you don't have to have blistering pace to cause problems, and Mata's positional awareness is very, very good. So I think if Mata was to play in Pogba's position, we'd definitely be getting a lot better out of Mata, and he'd be able to be a lot more effective. But as I said, if he's playing on the wing, I don't think we can get the best out of him. Lennox said Chelsea and Liverpool will be the acid test. Exactly. They're going to be the huge test, and both those games are coming up in February. Of course, we are Liverpool's game in hand, so we have to make sure we beat them at Old Trafford. We must make sure we beat Liverpool. I mean, that's just, if we let Liverpool beat us on our own patch, especially that if they go on and win the title, that would just be inexcusable. So we need to make sure we beat the Scousers at Old Trafford. Simple as that. There's no other alternative. And yeah, Chelsea as well is coming up. Obviously, we've got Chelsea in the FA Cup next week. I think next Sunday, I think it is. So again, very much a game I'm looking forward to. Another big test for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And if we can beat Chelsea after beating Arsenal, it'll just prove that it doesn't matter how rigged the FA Cup draw is, we can still get through it. And if we were to win the FA Cup this season, after coming through the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, we would have deserved to get our hands on that trophy. So let's hope we can beat Chelsea as well. Jag says, with the way Fulham play so deep, Mata may be the key to unlock the small spaces in between the lines. That's a very good point. I think Fulham will definitely look to sit deep, especially with the fact that defensively they're not all that strong. So I think you could be right, Jack. I think you could be right. Raz says Sanchez is older than Ivan. Ivan is still a beast. I watch him every time. You know that I'm a big fan of the Croatian. I think he's still an alright player. I just think he's getting on a bit, and I don't think we'll be able to get as much as we would have done a few seasons ago. Lennox says, if Liverpool beat us at home and win the title, it's our fault. Exactly, mate. I would not be able to live it down, honestly. And I hope if that happens, those players would not be able to live that down as well. I think if I was a Man United player and we lost to Liverpool and basically gifted them the title, I would be distraught, absolutely distraught. And I wouldn't be able to live it down for the rest of my life. So, yeah, no pressure, but we need to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. It's just an imperative. We have to do it. Have to. But obviously that game is coming up in a very, very busy February schedule with very, very difficult games coming thick and fast. We obviously play Man City in No, do we? I'm not sure when we play Man City, but we play a lot of difficult games. Obviously, we play PSG twice, Liverpool, Chelsea as well, Arsenal. Going to be a bumper February, and I tell you what, this month is probably going to be the defining month and almost the decider for the board whether to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. If you can get through these ridiculous, tumultuous round of fixtures in February and come out of it unscathed with maybe a few draws here and there, it'd be an amazing achievement. Rashford says City will give us a favour, but remember, we have to give them a favour by winning swimming pool. Yeah, swimming pool. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I don't like to say I want City to win the league, because I don't want City to win the league, but I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I just don't want Liverpool to win more. I don't want any of them to win the league. I don't want to say I want City to win the league. I'm just going to say I want one of them to win the league less. That's all I'm going to say. Lennox says we play Arsenal and Man City in March. Of course we do. Of course we do. I think we play Liverpool in March as well, but there you go. Yash says City win is okay than Liverpool win. Exactly, exactly. I do agree with that. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens in those games. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can come through those games unscathed, I think it'll be a massive achievement, But at Old Trafford, you have to win your home games against the big sides. And I have a good feeling the fact that we went away to Spurs and went away to Arsenal and absolutely bossed the game, I'm confident that against Liverpool and Man City, we can at least put up a decent fight and stop them in their tracks. Says Guardiola says United in the title race. Yeah, guys, we should be really positive. I'll tell you what, if we win all of our games, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We can still win the title, lads. It's still on. The title's still on. We do not let this slip now. We don't let this slip now. Anyway, Jackson, I think Pogba's worst game under Ole was versus Burnley, who plays similar to Fulham in terms of the defensive line thanks to Ranieri. It'd be wise to rest Pogba for those reasons, as well as PSG. I think you're right in terms of how Fulham play defensively is very similar to the way that Burnley play. And I think actually they both came into this to playing us at a very similar point where they're both not in very good runs of form. Fulham coming into this one only with 1 win in their last 6 and 5 losses in their last 6 as well. 19th in the table. They're going to look to hold a very deep line and make it very, very difficult for us. So you could be right, Jack. I think that's definitely a very good point. Lennox says, I've got Liverpool friends and they're so annoying. Exactly, mate. If your friends support Liverpool, I mean, I tell you, if Liverpool win the league, I just think, I mean, I don't know where we're all going to move to. Maybe we should just move to Jamaica or somewhere like that. Just move somewhere where there's no Liverpool fans. You know, have the coconuts, fill them with coconut milk, have a little straw with an umbrella in it, and just sit in our deck chairs and just turn off our phones for 3 months. That's all we're going to have to do. Says, but he didn't include Arsenal at all in the list of teams who could win. Yeah, I don't think Arsenal can win, to be honest. They're obviously below us now as well. Paul is just 13 points away. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why he's saying we're in a title race when we're 13 points. I mean, there's no way we're going to gain 13 points. That'd be ridiculous if we did. I think if we gain 13 points, it would be even more of a miracle than when Leicester won the league. But yeah, it's not going to happen. But if we get the top 4 spot, I think that'd be a brilliant result, especially with an interim manager like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in at such short notice and doing as well as he did. If we were to get top 4 from the position we were in, it would be a dream, absolute dream come true. Razza said the last time Liverpool won the title, Peter Schmeichel wins it. Casper Schmeichel was born and grown. He wins the title for Leicester. Till now, Liverpool can't. Exactly. In all of that time, Liverpool have still not won a league title. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. But you know what? After all the kind of Liverpool loving with Jurgen Klopp, everyone's saying Jurgen Klopp. Oh, Jurgen Klopp, he hugs people. He's so passionate. And if he doesn't win the league, it'll just be hilarious. It just would be hilarious. But anyway, guys, I think now I'm going to get into my score prediction for the game. So if you are watching, make sure you leave your score prediction in the live chat. And of course, leave the score prediction in the comment section down below as well. So, my score prediction for the game, I agree with Billy. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Manchester United. I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford to score. I'm going to go with Anthony Martial to get on the score sheet. And I think we're going to get a penalty as well. And obviously, who's our penalty taker? Paul Bloodclot Pogba is going to score. So, for me, Rashford, Pogba and Martial to get the 3 goals for United. Unfortunately, I do feel that we are going to concede. I think it's going to be a cross in from the box because, especially with Mitrovic, sniffing around the goal, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep it out. If we can keep a clean sheet, that would be brilliant. But even if we do win 3-1, the 3 points is all that matters. It'll be a huge, important 3 points if we were to win the game. So I'm going to go with 3-1 United. Leave your thoughts and leave your score predictions in the live chat and the comment section down below. And also leave a like on the video, guys. Really do appreciate it. So make sure you don't forget to leave a like. And make sure you hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Rashford says, I definitely feel sympathy when I remember Casper Schmeichel born and when the title's to Liverpool. Yeah, Lennox says 5-0 United. Wow, what a win that would be. What a win. I love the positivity, Lennox. Love the positivity. Yash goes with 3-0 United. Martial, Lukaku and Herrera. Herrera scores in these types of games. You are right, actually. He does seem to get, scoring these kind of, gritty games against the smaller side. So you could be right, Yash. 3-0, 5-0. The positivity is just rolling in. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Keep getting your score predictions and thoughts in, guys, before we do end the stream. But as I said, 3-1 to United, Rashford to continue his goal-scoring form. In fact, I'm very, very confident that Marcus Rashford will score first in this game. Rashford goes with a 4-0 win to United. So we've had 5-0, 3-0 and 4-0 so far. No, everyone thinks we're going to keep a clean sheet. Wow. I tell you what, that is definitely optimistic. But I like it. I like the optimism, guys. Love the optimism. But I just feel like we are going to concede. I just don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I really don't. I would love to see us keep a clean sheet, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But it could happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think Fulham, it'll be a set piece, some fluky goal, something like that, or even a penalty. I mean, last time they played us, they scored from a penalty, so who knows. Yash says, rest Lingard, he looks tired. I think Lingard will probably get a rest, especially for how much he's played. I think we might see Mata on the right wing for that reason. Or potentially even, Sanchez might come in, Martial, who knows. Lennox says, can't wait for Tuesday. It'll be a good game versus PSG. Really looking forward to that, honestly. The first big test in the Champions League for Manchester United in a while, actually. Actually, we played Juventus. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Sorry about that, guys. Obviously, we played Juventus and we got through that all right. In fact, if the Juventus games were on a two-legged affair, we would have got through and we would have won the tie. So that'll give us huge confidence going into that PSG game as well. Yeah, Lennox says, look, Lindelof will be rested. Yash says Rashford rested and in if required. Russell says Mata to net 2 and Rashford with 1. Eric Bailly goal for United. He thinks Eric Bailly's going to score for United. I think that would be only his second goal for Manchester United. I would absolutely love that for him to score. He's crazy bastard. Yeah, says Jones sign looks definitely starting with Bailly. Yeah, especially with Lindelof not travelling. I think you're right, Yash. I think you're totally right. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it here. Probably got to the natural end of the stream. But thank you so much for watching. If you have been, really do appreciate it. Make sure before you leave, hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are very near to 550 subscribers, so if you could help us out with that in any way at all by leaving a like, leaving a comment, or even sharing the video with your friends, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But guys, really do appreciate your support. It means so much to me. Thank you so much for watching as always. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll join you tomorrow after the Fulham game for my post-match thoughts. But guys, thanks for watching, really appreciate it as always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with a smile on my face. See you later.